96% of small businesses say that they need tech help but cannot find anybody that they trust. That is 36 million businesses in the United States alone. And yet, most software engineers are still grinding on Upwork, competing with $10 an hour developers, building SaaS that absolutely nobody asked for, or blasting cold emails into the void, hoping that somebody responds. And there's a massive opportunity hidden in plain sight, and you are most likely driving past it every single day. Now, I figured this out after years of failed side projects and business attempts going nowhere. And it is what led to my current B2B AI consulting firm doing over $500,000 in revenue in the last 30 days, right here in Los Angeles. So in this video, I'm going to show you the best way to get rich as a software engineer in 2026 and how you can actually start today. Now, but first, let's talk about what is actually happening right now with most developers. Keep in mind, over the last 2 years, I've spoken to well over 1,500 developers on a one-on-one basis. You can pretty much build anything. And because you can build anything, you default to building a product. You see somebody post, let's say a $50,000 a month screenshot, and your brain just goes, okay, I just need the right idea. So you spend months building, polishing, adding features nobody particularly asked for, and then when launch day comes, there's $0 in revenue. And then you blame the idea and you try again. But here's the thing that nobody really tells you. Building was never the hard part. Getting somebody to actually hand you the money, that is the hard part. And unfortunately, many people have to discover that the hard way. And it's not necessarily your fault because nobody taught you that. Your entire career optimized for technical skill. Nobody ever taught you sales, distribution, and not even the understanding what people will pay for. And keep in mind, I know this because I lived it. I was the software engineering manager, taking home $250,000 in compensation. Every single side project that I built went absolutely nowhere despite me having $250,000 salary. And I kept thinking to myself, but if my product is good enough, people will eventually pay for it. So I kept trying and trying, thinking my product was a thing that was wrong. But that entire line of thinking, obviously, it didn't make sense. Even after I quit my 9-to-5, I was still failing because of the same trap. I was building first and hoping that buyers were gonna show up. But the moment that everything really changed for me was when I flipped that order. I stopped building first and I started talking to buyers first. And last month, case in point, that should result in over $500,000 in revenue. And best of all this came from a service, not a SaaS. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get there. But first, I know exactly what you're thinking. But go, services? Seriously? That is literally trading time for money. That's the whole point of why I'm watching this video, to try to escape this time for money grind. But here's my question back to you that you actually need to consider. Is a service business more or less leveraged than your existing 9-to-5? Because right now, you are already trading time for money. You are just doing it for somebody else's company with an actual salary cap, most likely zero equity, and on top of everything, you have a boss who can pretty much cut you loose whenever they feel like it. But a service business actually removes that cap. You can set the price, you can choose your clients, and you actually own the relationship with your clients. It's not dependent on your boss. And here's the part that most developers actually miss entirely. Every successful software that you have ever heard of first started as a service. Airbnb manually matched guests to hosts. Netflix used to mail DVDs to people's houses. Services teach you what to actually build. They fund your runway while you figure things out, and they hand you the exact customers who will eventually buy your product. If you skip that stage, you are pretty much guessing in the dark. But even the developers who actually accept this, those who understand that, okay, services are the smarter starting point, almost every single one of them still make one critical mistake. They go online. Cold emails, LinkedIn DMs, Reddit posts, Upwork posts, competing in the same digital channels as every other developer on the planet because everybody else who's in this field is most likely going to watch the same videos, watch the same strategy. Meanwhile, 34 million small businesses in the United States need technical help and cannot find anybody that they trust. They are not on Upwork, but they are in your city. The dentist next door, the HVAC company down the street, the law firm right over there. All of these are real businesses with real problems, real budgets, and nobody serving them. They need services tailored to their specific business, built by somebody who can actually understand what it is they do. And here is why this is your specific unique advantage as a software engineer. Local businesses actually trust local people. A face-to-face conversation is going to beat a cold email every single time. And with now 86% of people having never used AI and an extra 14% on the free tier, this is the prime opportunity. I remember back in 2022 when I joined the Chamber of Commerce in LA, I was the only software engineer in the room. There were a room full of business owners in their late 40s and early 50s who needed technical help, and I was literally the only person who could actually provide it. I became the go-to tech person overnight. And when there is a massive demand and almost zero supply, you have got a lot to actually work with. So here are the specific places you can go right now to start building these type of relationships that are later going to turn into clients. Keep in mind what I'm describing isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's something that you have to integrate in your day-to-day, and over the course of a few years, you will become financially free. Number one, premium gyms. Places like Equinox attract mostly business owners, executives, and decision makers. People are paying $300 a month because they have the disposable income to do so, and they're most likely going to be your ideal client. You're going to see the same faces every single day, conversations are going to happen naturally, and there's not going to be any pitching involved. They're going to say, what do you do? You're going to ask, what do they do? And it's going to go from there. I myself switched from 24-hour fitness here in LA, and the networking alone paid for the upgrade over 10 times over. I probably made over $150,000 just from Equinox clients. Second, Chamber of Commerce. Over 4,000 locations across the US, across various cities. You join, you get access to a pre-qualified lead list on day one. If you show up 3 times, you're considered regular, right? You show up 6 times, people begin to trust you, talk to you more, and oftentimes you might even get the chance to present. Whether they're gonna say it yourself or whether you're gonna go out of your way to make it happen, but one project from a Chamber of Commerce will pay for a decade of the membership fees if there are any associated with it for your specific location. Third, BNI and referral groups. BNI, Business Network International, essentially works on 1 member per profession. So there's going to be 0 competition in the room. You're going to be the only developer or the only AI person or whatever. Members report an average of $20,000 in referred business per year, and that compounds over time. So think about that. Fourth, local conferences. And I don't mean some of the big ones. Skip those. It's just going to be too much competition. But find local business conferences in your city. Most often than not, they are very desperate for speakers with real technical knowledge. So pick a practical topic to discuss, like AI for small businesses, speak once, and you have instant credibility in that entire community, at least for the people that showed up. And that is exactly how I became known as the AI guy in Los Angeles. Talking in Chamber of Commerce, right? Doing my own here, workshops and things like that. And now with Cloud and Cursor Ambassador programs coming out, you can literally host your events too. So it's never been easier. Fifth, HighEnd Hotels. So anytime you're traveling, keep this in mind. Business travelers, corporate executives, decision makers, all in one building. I used to go to the sauna every single morning, and then I would go to the hotel bar or the lounge in the evening. And I would do this pretty much back in the day, most Sundays at the Waldorf Astoria here in LA. That was 1 visit per week, and I had 52 chances to meet somebody who actually needed what I offered. Now I actually do this a lot more rare, but I'll maybe go around 10 to 12 times a year still. And one conversation that leads into a 6-figure engagement, well, that means it was worth every single minute for me of going there. And I've gotten way more than 1 conversation, by the way, in 1 business and 1 lead from that. 6, car shows. Look who attends. Business owners, entrepreneurs, people with real disposable income, and they are there to enjoy themselves. There's 0 sales pressure. You talk about cars, you find out what they do, and they find out what you do. I have lost count of the amount of clients that I have closed from conversations that started at car shows and actually grew into proper relationships. 7th, InPerson Workshops. Teach a free AI or automation workshop for local businesses. It's going to be extremely easy to also get the leads for this because you are literally the expert in the room by default. Keep in mind, 99% of people have not used AI or are on the free tier. You're part of the 0.03% of people who actually know how to go about it. And a lot of the times, they're going to need a lot more help than you're going to be able to provide in those 2-hour workshop. And that's when they're going to become your clients. My formula for this is usually 70% teaching, 20% case study, and then 10% offer. 1 workshop done correctly with proper planning can generate at least 3 to 6 months of client work for you. Now, here is why this path actually leads to wealth. And it is not what most people expect. You are going on a journey here. You are striving to become a local celebrity. This is going to take you a few years, but even your first year, you're going to do way better than at your 9 to 5. And whenever you're talking to all these business owners face to face, you're going to start seeing patterns. You're going to notice which workflows are broken across maybe an entire industry. You're going to recognize what can actually be automated, what people are actually going to pay for. And after a few months of doing this, you're not going to need to guess what SaaS to build if you want to productize. Your clients have already told you, and they are lined up to be your first users the day you launch. Sandra, one of our Code to CEO founders, did this perfectly. Started off in hospice and home healthcare, found a specific problem, now is building a SaaS for it. So this is the actual path to wealth as a developer in 2026. Service first, product second if you want to. Validate before you code every single time and not the other way around, which is what literally got all your past projects killed. Stop competing for scraps on Upwork. Stop building in isolation. Stop following playbooks designed for people who already have an audience that you do not have. This is strictly referring to the indie hackers telling you just build SaaS until you get one that's successful. Your location and your network are both massive advantages and really the only ones you need on top of your experience. The only question you need to ask yourself is whether you're going to use them or not. Now, everything I just taught you is really still just the surface of it. If you want to dive way deeper into acquiring clients as a software engineer using this exact strategy, I'm going to be breaking it all down live on March 29th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be a 2-hour deep dive of the full framework, step by step, plus a live Q&A at the end for your specific situation. Click the link below and sign up. And if you are serious about building a business that actually replaces your 9 to 5, go to codetoceo.com and schedule a call with me directly. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one.